we are here with Father Matthew Vaidyan Cor-Episcopa to conduct an oral history interview. This is going to be a question and answer based discussion on Father V.C. Samuel's life. So Achan has graciously agreed to enlighten us, to provide his thoughts, his memories, and his feelings about Achan to us. With regards to that, we will start with Achan's introduction. Achan, would you like to introduce yourself?
Surely. Good morning, Sujith. Good morning.
Good morning.
I was born and brought up in a village called Thevalakara in Kollam district. Yeah. We belong to a middle-class Christian family. My father was an expert in agriculture, you know. Yeah. My primary education was in a UP school in Thevalakara and then high school Thevalakara. And after that, I joined for BSc and took Bachelor of Mathematics, Master of Science Mathematics from Devaswam Board College, Shasthankota. Yeah. It was in 1972 I became a graduate in science. Yeah.
Which year were you born, Achan?
I was born in 1953, March 27. Yeah.
Go on, Achan. So
and
you're saying about your rest of your initiation.
And in 1973 I joined the Orthodox Theological Seminary at Kottayam. From 73 to 77 I was a student there. Yeah. Seminary, Kottayam. Yeah. Okay. And in the fourth year we became deacons. The students became deacons. So I became Deacon Matthew Vaidyan. Yeah. The present Catholicos, Matthew's third, was my classmate there. Yeah.
Okay.
He was at that time Deacon M.A. Mathai. I am Deacon Matthew Vaidyan. And we took GST and BD. Yeah. GST means Graduation in Sacred Theology. BD, Bachelor of Divinity from Sarampur University. Yeah. Then both of us, Deacon Mathai and myself, were sent to Russia for higher studies. Leningrad Theological Academy. Leningrad is now St. Petersburg. At that time it was Leningrad. Yeah.
Which year was this, Achan?
From 77 to 79 we were students at the Leningrad Theological Academy. Yeah. It was an after effect of the visit of Patriarch Pimen. In 76 he came to India, visited churches in Malangara, and after that the two churches came to an agreement to send two of the students from here. Yeah. And Dr. Paulus Mar Gregorios, Bishop, he took initiative for that.
Okay.
He was in charge of the external affairs of the church.
Okay.
And the present Russian Patriarch Kirill, was our teacher there at Leningrad Theological Academy. Patriarch Kirill.
Okay.
So many famous teachers there. Professor Uspensky, Metropolitan Nicodim, the World Council of Churches president. He became WCC president. Metropolitan Nicodim was staying at Leningrad Theological Academy.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And Kirill was our lecturer, yeah, and rector also. Now he is the Patriarch of Russia.
He is the Patriarch, yes,
Yeah.
yes. So what was Patriarch Kirill's area of expertise? What was he teaching you?
Actually, he's a pious gentleman. He's a scholar with an ecumenical view. Yeah. You know, the Russian Orthodox Church has its own limitations because they were forced to support the government. Yeah.
Yes, I understand that.
The church in exile outside Russia had some reservations about that.
Okay.
Blindly supporting the communist government. So
Okay.
there was that struggle or tension. Yeah. Anyway, he could overcome all these tensions.
Okay.
And almost all the present Achans of Russian Church are his students. Yeah.
Okay.
Metropolitan Kirill, and later he became Patriarch. Very nice gentleman, a scholar, ecumenical minded person. He visited Kerala, Malangara Church, as a metropolitan.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it was 6 or 7 years back. I don't exactly remember that particular.
Yes,
he came here, he came to the seminary. Both of us, we met, we talked.
That would have been nice.
When a delegation went to Russia recently, and Dioscoros was a member of that delegation.
Okay.
In their conversation, Patriarch Kirill talked about us, we students, the present Catholicos and myself. Father Matthew, Father Mathai, how are they? They asked. Yeah. Anyhow, it was a nice stay there. For the first 4 or 5 months, we studied the Russian language. And we attended classes. There were thesis writing, papers writing, discussions with the Russian students. There were 18 students from 18 countries. 18 students from 18 countries at that time, foreign students there. In total, there were 350 students there.
Okay.
Leningrad Seminary and Academy. The primary theological education was in the seminary. The higher education was in the academy.
Okay.
We studied at the academy.
Okay.
Leningrad Theological Academy.
Okay.
Yeah. At that time, some of the bishops from Malangara came to Russia. They visited us. They came to our room. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Dioscoros of Trivandrum, Theodosius of Calcutta.
Okay.
These bishops visited us in the Leningrad Theological Academy. That I remember.
Okay.
And Paulos Gregorios bishop came there. He delivered some lectures there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
So the interactions with the Russian church at that time was you would think that we had come back to a pretty nice relationship. Do you agree at that point?
Earlier there were some visit to that country, to this country, and 2 or 3 students were already studied there. They were studied there, but one of them married a Russian girl. He went away. Okay. Another person, he could not do something much because he was a reserved person. Father George Joseph was there. So 2, 3 persons. One of them became a bishop in the patriarch side, Abraham Severios. He studied at the Leningrad Theological Academy for 2 or 3 years. Father Abraham at that time. Father Abraham. So then we were sent. We were intended to study Russian theology, Byzantine theology, 19th century Byzantine theology. It has some depth, and we did our best to have a nice relationship. We could enrich the relationship between the churches, ecumenical relationships. So many foreign delegates visited Russian church at that time. We could talk each other. When we were the students, Metropolitan Nicodeme expired. We attended the funeral.
Okay.
We had a service in Malayalam at the funeral service.
Okay. Some
30,000 people attended that service, you see, the burial service. World leaders from different countries came there to attend the funeral service of Nicodeme. He died in the presence, in the bishop house of the Pope at that time, John Paul I. Metropolitan Nicodeme died of heart attack at that time. His body came to Leningrad, was sent to Leningrad, and we could attend that funeral service.
Going back, Achan, to the time when you went for a BD degree, what prompted you to take this road of becoming a priest?
Actually, in my home parish, I could meet some very pious priests, very old priests, men of God, prayer, they were praying, they were serving the church, good ministry, good parish ministry, and we were attracted to that. I was so attracted, and my attendance in the youth movement at that time, the youngsters used to gather, we used to study some religious books, some of the elderly people. Actually, we studied theology first from our family background, our grandparents and all that, parents at that time, family background. Then the church authorities, the priests, the spiritual leaders, the laymen, some of the laymen also inspired me. Some of the priests inspired me. They were men of God, and I was attracted gradually, to that, to select the priesthood. And in between, I could visit the Ernakulam parish, the church at Ernakulam, our cathedral there. At that time, my brother was staying there at the hostel in the church, Ernakulam church.
Okay.
At that time, the vicar was Father Joseph, Father P.V. Joseph. Later, he became Metropolitan Pacomius.
Oh, okay.
And he was at that time vicar of Ernakulam parish.
Which year was this?
I think it was in 72, 71 at that week.
Okay.
I was studying at Shastangota College for my BSc. At that time, I visited that parish. And at that time, the assistant vicar was Father Paul. He became later the Catholicos. He died recently. He died. Catholicos Paulos II. At that time, he was the assistant vicar of Ernakulam parish. These priests also inspired us. Their parish work, their behavior, their encouragement.
Okay. So do you say, was it a gradual process where you were inspired and you kept on being inspired and then you moved to priesthood? Or is there something like, there was a distinctive part in your life which made you like, okay, now I need to take that decision? It didn't. So it was a gradual process.
The decision was not for a moment, but a gradual development. One more event I remember. Marostatius, at that time he was Father M.V. George. There's a Suvisheshale, St. Paul's Mission Center at Mavelikara. And in the vacation time, with some friends, I could attend the classes. 2 weeks Bible study program at the St. Paul's Mission Training Center. So I was also inspired by that course there, Bible course there. So many teachers, Father Joshua, some bishops, they used to take classes for us. And Marostatius at that time for George, we had personal talk, some inspiration from that conference, that Bible class. All these factors helped me to select priesthood.
Wow. To
go for theological studies.
I think that's sort of a gradual process by which you work towards that. That's more lasting than a significant impact. Maybe different people have different views on that, but this is very interesting.
One more event I remember is when I was a student. It was a Hindu college, Shastangota, Devasam Board College. With some of our friends, we used to the river side, the bank of the river Shastangota Kail. We used to meditate together, pray together. There were Hindus, there were Catholics, Protestants. With the friends, we used to pray there. It was a serene atmosphere. 3 sides Kail, river, Shastangota river. And our college was situated at the middle of that river. And there was a solemn atmosphere there. We had meditations, and there was enthusiasm there. That unit
in the
Shastangota College, Hindu college.
Okay.
One of the teachers was an Orthodox lady.
Okay.
We used to gather in her house. Kunyamma teacher. Her name is Kunyamma teacher. So all these factors influenced me to come to the religious way. To become a priest.
Now, from there, coming to where you are right now, you have gone back to St. Paul's Mission Training Center now. That is an interesting thing. Now you lead the mission center there. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes. The interesting thing is that Kunyamma teacher became my student at Shastangota Bible College.
That is very
There is a layman institute, Shastangota Bible School and Bible College. It is called both college or school. It is intended for leadership training course here. I am the principal still now. Catholicos, Matthew II appointed me as the principal there. So I was as a principal. These laymen, including Professor Kunyamma, also came to study there. It was an interesting experience in my life.
It is. So which year was it when you became the principal of Shastangota Bible College?
That means after my study in Russia, and then later I became the lecturer at the seminary, teacher of the seminary. That's an interesting story. There I met Father Samuel. I'm going to tell about that history.
Sure.
Yeah.
But let's talk a little bit about your current responsibilities. You are right now leading two key institutions. One is the St. Paul's Mission Center, and the other one is the Shasta Bible College.
Yes.
And that takes a lot of your time these days.
Surely. From 77 to 79, we studied at Leningrad Theological Academy successfully. I wrote a thesis on reflection of theological ideas in the veneration of icons. Iconography, reflection of theological ideas.
Can you summarize a little bit about that study?
Icons, artistic work, religious, theological, artistic work. We need a lot of meditation, years of meditation, retreat and all that, prayer. Then only the ascetics form an icon. The icon of is the Christian art. We need prayer, meditation, concentration. It is worship. Yes. The icon, not merely painting. No, it is a symbolic representation. The presence itself. We experience the presence itself. When I attended the worship of the Russian Orthodox Church, I could see so many people coming to the church. They kneeling down before the icon. They look at the icon, look at the persons depicted. Sometimes they cry aloud, sometimes they laugh. They feel the presence of that person, that saint, a living person, a living reality. They talk each other, They pray, they talk, sometimes laugh, sometimes cry. They submit all their sorrows, pains there in front of them, pray for them, intercede before them. And it's a strength. Just got a healing touch. Praying before an icon, interceding the saints. It's a healing effect. It has got healing effect in us. A healing touch of Christ and a healing touch of the saints we could experience. So some theological ideas are there in the veneration of icons. We don't consider them as idols. Icons are not idols. We venerate the icons. We respect the icons. For example, we respect a cross. We respect the Bible. Bible means paper, leather, carbon. We don't respect that leather, paper or carbon. We respect the ideas of the Bible. We respect the message of the cross, not that wooden cross, wood or metal.
Correct.
We give importance to the message of the cross. Like that, an icon is a symbolic representation. There's a lot of ideas. Coming together of the living people and the departed people. The church is both the living and the departed people, the fellowship of both. So we experience the fellowship of the church through venerating the saints, beseeching blessings from the Lord and praying each other, the saints and we people, the living and the departed people. So icon is a symbolic representation. Actually, it's a presence of the divine. I was especially interested in the icons. About the theology of icons, I wrote a thesis.
What was your conclusion of your thesis?
Conclusion that is very relevant. It helps our piety, our spirituality. The presence of a cross or a devotional artistic work, an icon. We have to develop our own icons. The Indian church has to develop our own architecture, our own icons, our own icons. We have got Parimala, a special cross, Parimala cross it is called. The Armenian church has developed the icon of these stones, Hachkar, this is called Hachkar. The Coptic church has its own icon. The Ethiopian church has its own icon. The Indian church has to develop the Indian icon. It has its own importance, theological ideas. So I have specialized in that subject.
It's a very interesting thing, especially like generally in the Malankara Orthodox Church and our church, we do not talk a lot about icons. What made you take that up? Was it any particular reason for you to take that particular subject for your study?
Actually, I could observe the devotion of the people before an icon there in the Leningrad seminary.
That moved you to
moved you to take this subject. I visited so many churches. Once in a month, they will send us to different parts of Soviet Union. That's to Soviet Union, to Armenia, to Georgia, to Odessa, to Ukraine. So many monasteries We could visit so many monasteries there. Underground monasteries were there. We could experience so many hermits there, ascetic people, so many very good monks there. Yeah, their lives attracted me. The pious gentlemen, the devotion of the faithful people before an icon, their way of praying, all this attracted me. Their monastic life, all these things attracted me. Yeah.
Very interesting.
And my friend Matthew's deacon, the present Catholicos, he wrote a thesis about a Russian theologian called Bolotov. Yeah.
Okay.
So we selected different areas.
Would you be willing to share your thesis? I mean, it's a very interesting, because I've never heard anybody from, maybe my understanding is very low, and I agree on that, but people from the Indian Orthodox Church having a thesis on the subject.
Based upon my thesis, I wrote a book. The book is called The Icon and Its Theology. The only printed book in India about icons. It's here, somewhere here. It's available from The Icon and Its Theology. So it's an abridged form of my thesis there.
Oh, okay. So that is
this is the book.
Can
The Icon and Its Theology.
Okay.
Can you read this?
Yes.
The Icon and Its Theology.
Perfect. Okay.
This is a summary of my thesis there in Russia.
Okay.
And all these people appreciated me. This kept in the library of Leningrad Theological Academy still now.
Oh, okay.
It is present there. So many people were attracted with that thesis. They refer that thesis. An Indian priest writing writing about Russian icons and all that. Yeah.
Very interesting.
I recommend you are reading this book, The Icon and Its Theology. Once Bishop Theophilos, Philippos Mar Theophilos, he read this book, and he wanted me to translate it into Malayalam and make available to our people. I could not fulfill that word till now. I could not translate to Malayalam and distribute because of some busy schedule. Yeah.
And that is a worthy cause.
Worthy contribution. Yes. The Icon and Its Theology. It has its own theological basis for that. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Then I came back in 1979. Deacon Mathai, he went to Rome for further studies. I came to Malangara, Kottayam. I joined Sarambur University for MTH, Master of Theology. I took Master of Theology in Theology. Patristics was my subject. And then I became a lecturer there. I was teaching at the seminary. And we were students for BD in 1975 and 76. In our second year, third year, fourth year, especially third year and fourth year, at that time, Father V.C. Samuel was teaching there. He was the Dean of Studies at the seminary at Kottayam, 75, 76. And he taught us Christology there. Yeah. Okay. And he was staying at Sophia Center. We visited him almost every day.
Was that the first interaction?
First interaction with Father Samuel. First interaction. Okay. And later when I became a lecturer there, we could teach together. We became teachers.
Okay.
Yeah. Before that, we were students.
Okay.
In my MDH days, Master of Theology days, I belonged to the first batch of the FFRRC, Federated Faculty. The NDS course started by that course, FFRRC, a joint venture of the CSI Church, Marthoma Church and Orthodox Church. Okay. And Paulos Gregorios was the chairman of FFRRC, and Dr. V.C. Samuel was a resource person. He was teaching there. When I was teaching, studying MDH, Father V.C. Samuel occasionally came there and he delivered some lectures about Christology.
Okay.
Then again he became my teacher. And after that, when I joined there as a teacher, we could spend more time together. And one more incident, during my student days, and Father V.C. Samuel was celebrating the Holy Kurbana on Sundays in a nearby chapel on the way to Vagathanam. From Chingavanam to Vagathanam, there's a chapel under the Vagathanam church. He was celebrating Holy Kurbana in that chapel. I was assisting him as an altar boy. When I was a student of the seminary, I have assisted Father Samuel in his Kurbana as an altar boy, taking the censer.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was an experience. His Kurbana very attractive, devotional. He repeated every word with a silence. Every word, he stressed every word in the Qurbana. Yeah, he was slow, and the meaning was very clear to him and the audience.
Okay.
The worshippers also were clear about the meaning of the every word, each and every word. He stressed, emphasized each and every word in the Qurbana, and we felt so devotional at that time, very attractive. Not music is good, that is not what meant. The wordings, the Qurbana was very attractive and devotional. That is important. He celebrated the Holy Qurbana from the heart, not from the lips. Got it? Yeah. From the heart, he said everything, said the prayers from the heart, understanding the meaning of every word. Yeah.
So if you were to say, this was, what year was this when you were?
77, so before that, 73 to 77 we were students of the seminary. So 74, 75, 76, these years, yeah, Father Samuel came from Bangalore to Kottayam. On weekdays he used to go to, many of the weekdays he go to Bangalore. Some of the weekdays, Sundays and Saturdays he stayed there. On these Sundays he celebrated Qurbana in the chapel.
Okay.
74, 75, 76 period.
Why was it that, Sophia Center is far? Is it?
Near, attached to the seminary. On the same compound.
Oh, yes, okay.
The chapel is so far, far away.
Yes.
Near Chingavana.
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
The chapel
is far. But why did he go all the way there to celebrate the Qurbana? Was it
the Kottayam diocese lacked priests, enough priests.
Oh, okay.
Enough priests were not available at that time. The seminary professors were sent to different chapels.
Okay.
Around Kottayam.
Okay.
In different places of the Kottayam diocese. So he was sent to some chapels there.
No, the reason is I asked is like I am actually from
Pallam, nearby the place.
So I was like Vagathanam and Chingavanam on that road. There's a small chapel all the way coming from Kottayam.
Yes. Now attached to that chapel there is a building. There is the memorial building of Mar Theodosius of Calcutta. Okay. Stephanos Mar Theodosius. In memory of the bishop, a mission center is now built at that nearby place, near the chapel, that chapel, where Master Samuel was celebrating the Holy Qurbana.
Okay.
Yeah. A memorial building is there. Yeah. In memory of Theodosius.
So that chapel falls under, is it a chapel of a church? How does that, is it a standard?
Chapel under the Vagathanam Valiya building.
Oh,
a chapel under that.
Okay.
I don't know whether it has now become a separate parish, I am not sure. But at that time it was a chapel under that Valiya building.
That's fine. I mean, just trying to understand the status of that chapel. So now talking more about Father V.C. Samuel. You mentioned this is your earliest introduction to Father V.C. Samuel. So over the years, now after that, how many occasions did you get a chance to interact with Father V.C. Samuel?
As a student, I could interact with him. As a teacher, I could interact with him. Again, after coming back from Russia, I was appointed as the General Secretary of the Orthodox Youth Movement of India. At that time, Mar Ostatios was the President of the Youth Movement. Mar Theophilos was the President of the MGOCS. And Father George Gurian, the present Mar Kurilos, was the General Secretary of the MGOCS. I was the General Secretary of the Youth Movement at that time.
Okay.
There was an organ called Orthodox Youth Magazine. I was appointed the Chief Editor of that Youth Magazine. Chief Editor of Orthodox Youth and also General Secretary of the Orthodox Youth Movement. So we have invited Father Samuel to lead some of the sessions of the annual meetings, meditations, Bible classes, so many times. There also we could meet and we could talk. Very impressive classes, Bible classes, history classes. He took classes also about the Bible portions and about Indian history, world history, about Christology, clarifying everything to the youth in a simple manner, simple language, understandable. There are so many theological words we know in Greek and others. He explained everything slowly, very transparent, clearly, with patience. Yeah, he listened every question to the to be asked by the youth. So in this conference also we could meet.
So these conferences, so how many of those conferences are you aware that Father V.C. Samuel had attended, and where were they?
I cannot count them, but there were conferences conducted by different dioceses. Kottayam diocese.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Kottayam diocese. Something like Chenganur. At that time it was Tumbaman diocese. Some parishes invited him to deliver Bible classes there and lead retreat there. I remember Kottayam Area Cathedral. He came to Area Cathedral. Yeah. I remember a chapel, Karamudi Chapel. You know, Karamudi Chapel near Pallam.
I've heard of the place.
Karamudi Chapel near Pallam. He visited that chapel also. I remember he delivered a sermon there. And in unit level, group level, district level, and diocese level, some of the conferences. With his heavy schedule, I'm not telling that he was always running about conferences, but he attended in the intermittent time. Yeah, he led the conferences many ways. MGOCSM conferences, youth movement conferences conducted near Kottayam and nearby places. Yeah. There also I could meet. I cannot count or specifically.
Okay. Any. So you mentioned a couple of places. The reason why I was asking about the places is that having an idea of all the places where Father V.C. Samuel has been, some connections with, that could also help in the research about it. That is what just getting those understandings in place. So you mentioned now conferences where you met with Father V.C. Samuel. Now later on in life, did you get more opportunities?
Surely, I was there. Then after that, I wrote a book, Theology and Mission. As a lecturer of the seminary, I wrote two books, Vishuddha Viddhigal, the Holy Fools, about the saints in Russia, the Holy Fools. Another book, Theology and Mission. The foreword to the book Theology and Mission is written by Father Samuel. This is available here. Theology and Mission. Look, the foreword, the introductory message to the book Theology and Mission, written by Father Samuel. You look at it. Forward by Father Samuel. So we were attached.
What required you to?
Yeah, I was attracted by his life. I see. He was my spiritual mentor in a way. He was my spiritual mentor, my guru, my spiritual mentor, and he was my guide in theology, history, and Christology. He was my guide, spiritual mentor. I was attracted by the way of his talking, his conversation, very pious, simplicity, and accessibility. That's the main qualities of a saint, a saintly man. Simplicity, humility, and accessibility. He is accessible any time, evening or morning or night time. Accessibility and simplicity are the main qualities. But some of our bishops lacked it. I don't want to mention the name of the bishops. They were ecclesiastical ego, lacking humility. There are people still there. But in V.C. Samuel, I could feel the simplicity and accessibility, the humility, a man of God. He was a scholar, at the same time, he was a man of God. Yeah. He talked from his heart. He encouraged people, the students, to ask questions. He clarified the questions. Yeah. He was especially interested in catechism, explaining the faith.
He has written a book on that.
Book on that, catechism. Still, it is a textbook used by many people.
True.
Students and youth, they are used in many of our houses. It is used by youth and students to defend our faith. Yeah. Catechism of the church. You know, Pope Shenouda of the Coptic Church has written so many catechetical lectures, so many books explaining the faith.
Right.
It has got theological value, spiritual depth, and polemics, arguments also. Against heresies, he was strict. He was serious. He was serious against heresies and heretics. But he was gentle towards the faithful, yeah, the youth and the questioning people. Yeah. So I was attracted by his behavior, his manner of talking. Yeah. A scholar, academic level, he was at the highest. Once Metropolitan Mar Gregorius told me, Father V.C. Samuel is #1 in Christology in the world. He told me. Bishop Paulus Mar Gregorius told me. For some time I was his secretary. I was appointed him as the General Secretary of the Malankara Church Clergy Association.
Okay.
All the clergies forming together. Now the Vaidika Sangam. I was the General Secretary of the Youth Movement, lecturer at the seminary. At the same time, I was the General Secretary of the Clergy Association of the Malankara Church. And Mar Gregorius was the president. And he appointed me as the publisher of a magazine called the Purohitan. Purohitan.
Okay.
For exclusively for priests.
Okay.
Purohitan Mandri. I was the publisher. Mar Gregorius was the chief editor. And on my demand, Father Samuel from Bangalore and also from Kottayam, he sent some articles to me to publish in the Purohitan Mandri.
Do you have those articles?
Some of them are published in Purohitan. In my house, some of them are available. Yeah, very old. It was in 79, 80, 81, 82, 83 period. You know.
Okay. If you have those, it would be nice if you can share those and try to put
some of these articles were later republished in some of our article magazines, souvenirs. Some of those articles were republished in some of the in both English and Malayalam articles there.
Okay.
But I have a bitter experience to say.
Okay.
I was discussing with Mar Gregorius about the articles to be included in Purohitan monthly, and also Star of the East. Yeah, there was Father M.C. George as the publisher of that magazine, but Purohitan in my charge. Yeah. And I had to discuss with Mar Gregorius about the articles to be included. Yeah. Or not 2 or 3. Some of the articles were rejected by Gregorius, saying this article is not suitable for our magazine. So some of these articles were rejected. Many of them were accepted.
Why do you think it was?
I think maybe some difference between his ideologies can be so.
Possibly. Yeah.
Possibly.
Very possible.
I could distinguish between both of them. Both of them are my gurus. Mar Gregorius, Mar Ostatios, Father Samuel.
Right.
Sometimes I compare with them. In my autography, there's an autography famous there. Adagulla Kannadi, it is called. It's available somewhere here. Autobiography. I have mentioned about these 3 gurus. Mar Ostatios, Mar Gregorius, Father V.C. Samuel. I have written separate articles about them. No, other with my photograph in front. Adagulla Kannadi, somewhere there, maybe inside that. Adagulla Kannadi. This is my autograph. Or inside this.
Okay.
I have written special articles about Mar Gregorius, Father V.C. Samuel, Mar Ostatios. Those people who influenced me as teachers, gurus. Yeah. I know there are some differences of opinion, methodological difference between the priority aspect. Mar Ostatios priority mission. Also Trinitarian theology, sharing all these things. Mar Gregorius is more philosophical, yeah. Father Samuel giving importance to cultural heritage of India. The heritage of India. He has written an article in Purohitan about that. The cultural heritage of India. Yeah. He is interested in that. The theology of the Indian, so the Indian church should be fully Indian, not an outside. Yeah.